Hey there, welcome to episode 2 for the day. That is on July 26, 2025, at least in the Pacific time zone, of the Coffee Solo audio program. I'm your host, Dan Hugo. It is 10:19 p.m. on Saturday, July 26th, making this episode 2025-072602. Customer disservice. I've made a couple of lines of outline. Very annoyed right now. Just hopping in briefly, a quick summary text to voice some concerns about the state of affairs of customer service, among other things. Things that are difficult to find, I suppose. As usual, the links, I'll just pass through those since I already talked about those in episode 1 for the day. But it does concern those. That's where we will begin. Amazon customer service. Well, no. First, let's start with Apple account creation. Too many damn A's. Apple account creation. So I don't know if you publish your own audio programs or podcasts. Fun fact, the reason they're called podcasts is because Adam Curry, the pod father, the person that came up with this idea, basically got together with Steve Jobs back in the day and said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if people could download these audio programs onto their iPod? So they did like a joint demo on stage. I can't remember if it was WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference, or Macworld or something, but they were both on stage and they were showing it off. And if you actually delve into an RSS version 2 feed, you'll see a lot of extensions from Apple. So you'll see iTunes namespace tags. So Apple really got in on podcasting a long time ago. The name has stuck for better or worse. I think it should not be called podcasting. It's like calling YouTube streams TV shows. There's no television. So they're throwback terms. It's like using the floppy disk for the save icon and all that. But anyway, so in order to I've launched 2 new RSS feeds via Spotify. And Spotify has its own issues. They're not awful, but they are definitely not A+. But in order to get your podcast RSS feed onto the iTunes, whatever, to be verified, I haven't even checked to see if I'm in there, but because they may just scrape the internets. I don't know. Let me see if I'm, but in order to get on there, first of all, you have to get an Apple ID. So when you do that, you have to sign up for an Apple ID, and then you need to go to the creator portal or something and then provide your RSS feed, and then you have to confirm ownership. Okay. So you should be able to confirm ownership of your RSS feed without having to create an account somewhere. Like anyone should be able to send, there's an email address it's actually an iTunes namespace. So iTunes:/email, I think it is. And so it's the owner block, iTunes email, and it has an email address there. So theoretically, if you are the one publishing the RSS feed, or if you are responsible for it, you're the owner. And then someone can send an email to the owner. And if they send a verification email with like a link in it to click, then when you click on that, they'll say, okay, so the owner of this must have received this email. Done. So why do I have to sign up for an Apple ID to register a podcast, or register to create an account? So I'm in here already. So yeah, the fun part is that, so according to the Spotify for Creators user interface, which, do I have this open right now? Yeah. So, you have to submit your RSS feed from Spotify to, in this case, Apple Podcasts Connect. And then they will return a link to the itunes.apple.com/yourpodcast. So everything should be a piece of cake, right? So I tried to register because I've never had an an Apple ID for the purposes of this. I used to have an Apple developer ID. I think it's when you could order a Bronto burger and then you had to push your car with your feet. So it was a long time ago. Why do they do this? So I tried to sign up for an Apple ID, or now it's called an Apple account. so that I could do the Podcast Connect thing. And so I just saw that two of my shows are in iTunes already, which I don't think I've gone through this loop. FFS Talk and Quaggling Sand are here. I don't see Cafe Genius. Only 2 shows. Wait, what is this? Oh, no, Quaggling Sand. Yeah, so Quaggling Sand and I wonder how that turned out. So I guess I'll check that out while we're here. So yeah, so I tried to register my account, and I type your email address, phone number. They're going to send you verification codes. They're HOTP, so one-time 6-digit codes, right? They're not time. Well, they're parameter based, so H instead of T, and you get a 6-digit code. You type it in, everything's good. So I did that, and then I get a very useful error message. Your account cannot be created. That's it. No idea why. Absolutely no idea why. So if you think about this in the big picture, what this process says is there's a gate. You have to open that gate to get into the rest of the things you want to accomplish. And we're going to go ahead and provide a do not enter sign. And then when you say, hey, can I get in here? They're going to say no. And you're going to say why? And they'll just don't say anything. That's effectively what's happening. So that totally breaks the notion of podcasting. Podcasting is supposed to be very decentralized, very open. As what's his name? Anil Dash wrote this article about the nature of podcasting can be found in the expression wherever you find your podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, because you should be able to find them in a myriad of places. Yeah, so my FFS Talk and Quaggling Sand programs are in iTunes, but they are not. I don't have them. I didn't register them, so I don't know how that works either. And that's the way it should be, right? I don't have any locks. I don't have any permissions. I don't have any protections on my RSS feeds. You can download them wherever you want. You can re-index them. This show, Coffee Solo. Did I say the name of the show at the top there? Station ID? Coffee Solo, yeah. So this show is obviously not in there. It's been alive for 2 weeks, a week and a half, something like that. So a week as an RSS feed, right? Coffee.com does not have RSS feeds, so it never would have been able to be found. That was one reason I did this. So in order to enable an RSS feed to get onto iTunes, so it will read your RSS feed, I guess they can either do it when they feel like it, or you can try to submit a show. So none of this is really obvious or clear. Do I feel like I need to have an iTunes presence in order for people to listen to my audio programs? Probably not. I don't get much traffic anyway. I think YouTube will probably be a little bit better than iTunes at this point. I think most traffic not most. A lot of people listen to podcasts via YouTube, especially since Google was pushing people to YouTube Music instead of Google Podcasts. And I don't know if there was ever Google Music. There was Play Store Music or something like. I think there was Play Music. There's books, movies, maybe there was music, and games, of course, and apps and things like this. So I think YouTube will be the thing to focus on, not the iTunes thing. But that's super frustrating. The fact that it's just sort of a shoulder shrug. I should receive some message that says, "Oh, hey, you suck," or "Here's why we can't create your account. Hey, your phone number is already in use somewhere else," or whatever, right? Which could be. I don't know. Like I said, I have had an Apple account before, but it was a long time ago. So who knows? Amazon customer service. I had an item that I ordered on, I think it was June 2nd. They said they shipped it on June 17th, I think it was. But UPS, it was shipped UPS. UPS said they delivered it on June 10th, I think it was. And then the Amazon orders page said it was due between June 24th and July 15th. And I was like, hey, is any of this information correct? Oh, everything's fine. Wait until July 15th. Well, wait, I already paid for this thing. Just wait until July 15th. And then if you don't receive it, then we'll issue a credit. Yeah, but I already paid for this a long time ago. So somebody has my money. I would like that to be me, or I would like the thing. But oh no, no, everything will be fine. And then of course the platitudes. I completely understand your frustration, and I will help you today. And yeah, okay. So it got to be July 15th, and the order status page on the Amazon website was updated to say your order is now expected on July 19th. And if it doesn't arrive then, come back the next day for a refund, or you could cancel or refund or whatever it was. And I did that. And then it says, oh, this is a third party order. We'll send you to the third party. Okay, wait. So I finally force the automated support system to get me through to a person. And that person says, well, we can submit a claim and we'll see what happens. I was like, no. I want my money back. This is ridiculous. Amazon charged my credit card, not the third party. So Amazon give me my money back. So I went to my bank the next morning, afternoon. And I said, here's the situation. I just want to dispute the charge. They said, okay. And I said, I got to get the conversation thread because I've talked about all these things that I've described to you, but I have them on the record with Amazon. And they said, oh yeah, if you can get that, that will probably be useful. So everything's good. I've submitted my dispute. I go home. I reach out to Amazon to try, and it turns out their chat history goes on forever, I guess. So all I had to do is open a chat and then scroll up, which I did not know. I may have known that, but I didn't really know it. So first I said, hey, I need the chat history for this because I'm filing a dispute against this charge. And they said, you can scroll back. It should be visible. And I said, oh, that's useful. And then he said, I see that you've had, this has been a problem and I'm very sorry, blah, 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 platitude. He says, I can help you submit the claim. And I said, will I get my refund today? No, it will take about a week. And I said, well, I've already filed a dispute. So that's the way it is. This has taken too long. It's ridiculous. And they said, okay, well, I have filed the dispute with Amazon A to Z. So this whole third party paying for things and who you have to contact, it's such a mess. It's comical. But then he said, okay, the claim has been submitted. I said, so it's going to take a week? I don't know. It will take some amount of time. Well, okay, but the dispute is already in. This has been a pain. I will never do a third party purchase like this. This is ridiculous. This has been a train wreck. Very, very bad customer experience. And that was that. And I think probably 12 hours later, I got the credit applied to my credit card. So now I got to go back to my bank. Why? Why go in person? Can't I just contact them online? Oh, that would be nice, but this is 2025. So in order to contact a human being at my bank and say, hey, I submitted a dispute yesterday, now Friday. When I get to them, it'll be not today. I submitted a dispute. Actually, it was on Thursday. I submitted a dispute on Thursday. I've received the credit. You can see it on the account. So we can close this out. They capitulated, right? All I have to do is say that. But I have to get through the phone tree, or I have to work with the automated chat system and convince it. If I say the word dispute, I will get 3 or 4 different links to articles about how to file a dispute and so on, and all sorts of helpful but not really helpful information. So it's like 1,000 times easier and more productive to walk across the street to where my credit union has a location in a grocery store and just say, yeah, we can pull that dispute. I'll probably even speak to the same person I worked with already. So I laugh when I hear that AI is going to be taking over the world because, oh my goodness, it will be grinding to a halt. So yeah, my bank, Amazon, and then one of my least favorites, pardon me, remember I'm still getting over that cold. One of my least favorite customer experiences is with a company called Luxor One, which manages the lockers, the delivery package lockers, and then the mail room with a locking, has a code lock on it for the place where I live. And Luxor One used to be really helpful. And then something happened. I think a comet flew by or something. And now if I reach out to them and say, hey, there's a missing package, I don't know what happened to it, I don't hear it back from them at all. Nothing. I don't even get like an automated thank you for submission, blah, blah, blah. So I received a delivery coincidentally on Thursday evening. I got a notification from Amazon, and they took a picture. The person took a picture, and it's in a locker. I know the locker number because of the photo, because there was a visible identifying kind of unique thing. So I didn't get a notification from Luxor One, which means, that's weird. What happened there? So I went down to the mailroom. There's packages strewn everywhere. It's as though the delivery people are like, you know what? Screw these lockers. We're just going to throw packages on the floor. And so there's packages all over the place. And no rhyme, no reason. And there's really no way to tell Amazon this. There's no way to say, hey, Amazon, did you know that your drivers that come here don't give a damn? But my package is gone. So I indicated, first of all, I reached out to Luxor One. I said, hey, this is the deal. I have gone into the mailroom. I cannot find my package. It's not in the locker as was in the photo. I sent the photo. I didn't receive a notification. So, and then they have cameras in there. So they literally, when they were supportive, they used to say, oh yes, we saw that they didn't actually put it in the locker. And then that package would probably show up a day or two later. Okay, so somebody forgot and it gets worked out. Now though, more common in the past, and I'm an Amazon Vine reviewer, I've mentioned this before. So package delivery volume has shot up. So I get all of the weird corner and edge cases. I have got, one package, the person, this was a normal order, a normal personal order. It was split across 2 boxes. So one single order, 2 boxes. No, actually several order numbers, one shipping tracking number, but split across, 2 tracking numbers. I'm sorry. So 2 tracking numbers, 2 boxes, but delivered by the same person. How about that? And the person took one photo, submitted it for both of the delivered packages, so both tracking numbers, and then one of those boxes disappeared. And I went to the mailroom within like 10 minutes. So it's not like somebody wandered through and was plucking, hey, there's Dan's package. Let me take just one of them. So I'm like, I don't know if the person left it or delivered it or whatever. And that was a major pain dealing with Amazon customer service for that. Literally, like I don't even want to deal with Amazon ever again after that. But the Amazon Vine stuff, it's not as consequential because it's free. I mean, Amazon pays for it. So if I don't get the package, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't get the package, so I can't review it. So take it off the list. So they remove it from my, let's call it an inventory of things that I have to write reviews for, and everything's fine. So I received a package on Thursday. Like I said, it was indicated as delivered by the Amazon side, but not on the Luxor One locker side. I have emailed Luxor One. I will never hear from them. In the meantime, I just reached out to Amazon and said this package was marked as delivered, but I can't find it. Would you like a refund? Yes. And it's a $0 refund. Done. So in some cases, as long as you don't have to interact with a human or an alleged human, Amazon's machinery is not as bad as it is when you have to interact with a human. Then it goes off the rails. Then it's ridiculous and ugly, and I hate it. Luxor One is a fail. Apple, I really have never liked Apple since I worked at Apple. After I left Apple, when was that? 98, maybe 96. That was it. I've never wanted to give my money to anything relating to Apple. I've avoided Apple anything like the plague. I cannot stand Apple. So I'm not surprised by that. But at the end of the day, after all of this, confirming ownership of your RSS feed should be a lot easier, as I already said, and that's where all of this started. But yeah, my bank is horrible. People do not understand the notion of personally identifying information. So my favorite transaction, the illustrative transaction, my debit card, whatever, my bank card was declined at a convenience store by the Phoenix airport, not in the airport, but outside, like the, what do you call it? The air train. Because I took the air train to the light rail station, which is near the airport, and I was going to take the light rail to take the load off of my ride, who was going to come and get me. So I went away from the airport and made the anyway. So I went to a 7-Eleven to get like a water or a drink of some sort, and it was in Phoenix. It's warm, and card declined. Why? Oh, it doesn't say. So when I get to my destination, I call the bank, my bank, And they're like, oh yes, that was you. You attempted to use it in an area that has a lot of fraud. So as a security measure, we don't allow our cards to be used in this geographical region. I'm like, oh, Jesus, that's horrible. But before I could get to that answer, they said, oh, we need to confirm your identity. And then the person read me my information. They said, are you da, 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 and this is your da, da, da. And I'm like, why are you reading me? You don't know who I am. You've just told me this person's personal identifying information. So I said, put your supervisor on. We had a conversation. They agreed, like, yeah, that was not the correct way to do that. It's just an amateur hour. And there's more. There's so much more. It's not even funny. I encounter this stuff all the time. Now, I'm not, I'm not saying that I'm like the authority on this stuff. I'm not saying that people should be bowing down before me. You must know everything about how all this stuff works. But what I am saying is I have been around, and I've done some of these things in my actual professional history. Authentication, authorization, just the way systems work, protocols and things like this. People have no idea what they're doing. When a system does not work, whatever it is, nobody seems to know what to do. So the bank situation was one. The whole notion of, I'm not going to give you my PIN code over the phone. Why am I giving you my PIN code? I've given you other information that's account specific. Now what? And by the way, my bank did implement U2F, 2FA, U2FA, whatever. So I have they're not the passkeys yet, but they have implemented 2FA. So I have a standard TOTP code cycling every 20 or 30 seconds. I can't remember. And so I was like, when they did that, when they got away from the we'll send you an SMS text message with a code. So when they moved on to universal two-factor authentication, I was like, hey, okay, welcome to the 21st century. Nice. They should be able to have me type in that code, right? I should be able to, when I'm trying to connect on the phone, what is your code generator app showing? Type in the number, 6 digits. I would do that because you can only do it once, then it's used, right? And you can't replay those. That's the whole scheme behind that. Well, I mean, you can, but it should reject it. And then you don't, then, 30 seconds later, that code becomes irrelevant anyway. Once you give out your PIN code, or once you give out your fingerprints or your genetic information, right? These people think, oh yeah, it's no biggie. And you're like, no, it is. You can never undo these things. So I'm really, and it's only going to get worse. So I'm really always disappointed at how people just don't understand how these things work. They use them all the time, and we have a growing dependence on them. People, just give me your social security number real quick. You can never undo that. So yeah, the list of things, and I know this segued weirdly from a package delivery going awry, and an Apple account creation process failing, or getting a weird, useless error message, or I don't know if that's an error message or a comment on me. We're not creating your account right now. All of this stuff, you are left as the end user, as the person who pays for things. Like, we're going to take your money, but we're not going to be helpful. You'll get nothing and like it. That kind of stuff. It's really amazing. And I'm hoping that, I think there needs to be like I hate to even go here, but like a worker revolt or something. The proletariat needs to rise up. Like, hey, billionaires, you're only rich because we've been paying for things from you. So we just don't do that anymore. Anyway, I was shocked today. My upstairs noisy Raymond was apparently in a bad mood. There was a lot of yelling. I don't know about what. I don't really try to listen in. Maybe I should. A lot of violence, of like throwing things on the ground. I don't think there's another person up there. So not interpersonal violence, but a lot of physicality. Something was going on in one part of upstairs that was like just throwing things on the ground, or making, banging on the floor a lot. So really, really bizarre. I need to get to the bottom of that. And here again, there's this very simplistic view. Because if I said, hey, my neighbor was making huge amounts of noise for like 20 minutes today, are they doing it now? No. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. So without some security witness coming and hearing or seeing something at the time, it doesn't matter. So the secret to getting around noise complaints is to just not make noise continuously. Just make a lot of noise for short periods of time, and then no one will be able to verify the complaint. That's the situation I'm in right now. So that's always fun. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. I don't know what the future will hold. I'm very concerned. The AI future only makes all the things I've just described worse, because now there's not even a person who will care in the slightest. We're already there in a lot of cases, and it only gets worse. And if you've tried Alexa Plus, we know that Amazon is not going to get any better. So, and we know Apple's AI picture is very ugly. Google is probably going to rule the world, even though OpenAI has all the hype and everything, but Google has the infrastructure in place to deploy AI. Google's kind of the Microsoft of the 90s. Microsoft would say, oh, let's make everything web-based. And 10 days later, everything is using Explorer, right? They turn the entire company on a dime. So Google's, let's integrate NotebookLM and Gemini into everything. Watch, phone, tablet, Google Workspace, etc. So they've basically rolled out a fairly complete. Are they competitive on the quality of their models and stuff? But that will happen, and eventually all this stuff will settle out, and things will continue to improve, and different models will work different ways, and it'll be like people, but they'll be artificial, and they won't care about you or me. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Thank you for listening as always, and I'll catch you later.